You're watching a Highwire Media podcast. Today's episode, we dive into the latest news coming out of Texas. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So the state of Texas has a major update today. The final map proposal is here from the Texas House Republicans because they understand that Democrats have waged war on the American electorate regarding gerrymandering while simultaneously playing the victim, by and large to a successful degree. So much so to the point when people think of gerrymandering, they think of Republicans. Even though if you look at the actual data, which we'll get into some of that, and we'll get into some of the bad takes that we're seeing from some very prominent people on the left, but it's just not accurate. And Republicans in the state of Texas have taken note of this and want to kind of level the playing field, especially ahead of a midterm where you would like to extend the Republican Party trifecta and play for keeps. So this proposal, and Ohio very well likely will do another one, it's very possible that another state like Missouri or Indiana or even like Florida might redraw their maps. It's not as likely, but it could happen. Trump has endorsed the plan for it to happen. This in Ohio very likely will happen. Ohio Republicans likely gain 2 seats there out of the gate, or at least have a much better shot at gaining 2 seats. Meanwhile, in the state of Texas, they will be gaining 5 if this gets finalized and made official. So we're going to dive into it in this video a little deeper. Before we dive into this, I have to tell you guys about our great friends over at My Patriot Supply. Look, we've seen how unpredictable the world can be. Natural disasters, supply chain breakdowns, inflation through the roof. If the last few years taught us anything, it's this. You do not want to be the person scrambling when the grocery store shelves go empty. And that's where My Patriot Supply comes in. They're America's largest preparedness company, and they've got your back with emergency food kits that last up to 25 years. We're talking real meals, breakfast, lunches, dinners, with 2,000 plus calories a day, packed in sturdy, discreet containers. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's for your home, your family, or just peace of mind, now's the time to prepare. Use the link in the description today and grab your 3-month emergency food kit. Again, that's My Patriot Supply, because when the world gets messy, you'll be ready. And now back to our main topic. Illinois is the most ridiculous map I've ever seen in my entire life, and B, you know geography in some places, it's going to help you. Like Massachusetts with the Democrats, Republicans in Wisconsin, that's a very fair map. I think it's the fairest map in the country. You have a district for every single major region, and Democrats have 2 seats in their column. Republicans have 5. One of those is somewhere close. Then you have like a swing district in the driftless area, which could go either way in 2026. But for, a state like that, Democrats have horrible geography. Republicans have horrible geography in Massachusetts. Democrats tend to do it in the Deep South. The only reason why they have any seats there is mainly because of the fact that they have affirmative action DEI districts from parts of the Voter Rights Act. They're antiquated and also don't apply in places where white voters are a minority, like in certain parts of Las Vegas or, for example, New Mexico. You don't get a white district there, but you have to draw 2 black districts in Alabama for one reason or another. It's ridiculous. Those are antiquated provisions that should be repealed. But then you look at what Gavin Newsom has to say about this in a defense. He's saying that he might try to go out there and draw out all the Republican seats in California. I don't even know how he's going to be able to do that because A, it very well could end up being a major dummy mander if he does. And B, there is like an independent commission that is not independent at all, by the way. It's very liberal, but they're not able to constitutionally meet in the mid-decade. So Newsom, I think, will try to change it. I don't know if he's going to be very successful, but I think he really just wants to complain because it's going to help his 2028 bid. More news on 2028 we'll cover next week about a certain Californian. But 2025, the most gerrymandered states, he puts up this map. And then you have the very fair map in Wisconsin, the fair map in Pennsylvania. You have Arkansas, which you can't really, it's kind of difficult to even draw like a swing district in Arkansas for one. Louisiana, where they made them draw in another Democrat seat where it didn't belong because of the Supreme Court. Then you have states like Kentucky, which again, there's one blue area. Lexington's not as big. It's not as big or as blue as Louisville. There's one blue area there. And then you have West Virginia, which is ridiculous because it voted for Trump. Both districts voted for Trump by like 40 some points. You're not going to draw a blue or even competitive district in the state of West Virginia. Utah, maybe. I think Utah is a little bit more Republican favorable, but still, if you want to talk about the Democrat seats, that's you have Chicago district touching the south side of Chicago, going to the other corner of the state. They're drawing every district out from Chicago. The fact that there's 2 to 3 Republican districts there is nothing short of a miracle, if we're going to be completely honest. And then you have California, where there's plenty of districts that have been drawn by a so-called independent commission that have, benefited Democrats. You have the state of Nevada, where they split up Vegas in a tactful way to benefit Democrats, even though that could be a dummy mander and backfire. You have New Mexico, so many states. Yes, there are some Republican favored gerrymanders, but if you really look at it, there's only 5 states. And that would net the Democrats, 1 district in Utah, maybe not even a guarantee, maybe 1 in Tennessee, and then on top of it, you have Texas, which is still, even the new map, fairer than California. You have North Carolina, which again, Democrats don't really have very good geography there, even if it is still a Republican-favored map to a certain extent. And then Florida, which honestly is not like all that big of a gerrymander at this point. And I think you could draw a more compact map that would be fair and also happen to give Republicans more seats as a result, because the geography's just changed. Because you have, over 1 million new net Republican voters over the Democrats over the past few years. But if you look at the Democrat states, Oregon, California, Nevada, New Mexico, Louisiana, Alabama, Illinois, New York, New Jersey is a big one, Connecticut, there's no Republican seats actually at all in New England. There's one that voted for Trump, as we know, Maine's 2nd district, even though it is held by a Democrat at the House level. But that's how many House seats in New England? You've got, a couple dozen of them, and they're all ran by Democrats. They're all Democrat seats, except maybe one, which Trump won, as I mentioned. But it's like Republicans still get 40% of the vote in that region, and in states like Connecticut, you really can't fall back on the geography argument. Rhode Island, they split Providence pretty much down the middle. That one should be a disfavorable map. That's still the biggest victim players in the world, because Republicans are not the ones that are stealing House seats. They're leveling the playing field. We have data proof because the Republicans in 2016, they won the House popular vote by 1%. They still had a 47-seat majority. This isn't like a perfect metric. They actually did lose seats on net because they won the House popular vote by 5 the previous election in 2014. But it's Republicans won the House by more in 2024, and they only get a 5-seat majority. Some of that is geography because Republicans did much better in deep blue areas. Another part of it is just the basic fact that overall, there's a serious problem with redistricting and gerrymandering, and it's not really on the shoulders of the Republicans. Because Democrats are overrepresented in the House by every metric, regardless of however you want to spin it. In states like Ohio and Texas have the ability to just level the playing field, because Republicans should have at least half a dozen seats or more in California, a few more in New York if you had a fair map. They would have probably 4 or 5 of them in the state of Illinois on top of what they additionally have now, which is just 3. So you're talking about 15 House seats, and then maybe if you want to say, what about Texas? What about Tennessee? Utah? Whatever. Okay, maybe you talk about Democrats having 5 or 6, so there's about 10 seats of an imbalance. So Texas has every right to step up and do what they're doing. I hope Ohio follows suit. Ohio, the map is relatively favorable to the Democrats given geography, which they'll never acknowledge, but they'll acknowledge it when they can, try to defend Massachusetts, which is still a gerrymander. And it's completely ridiculous what you have. You have Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, California. There's so many examples. California is another one. Oregon's another one. I mean, come on, seriously. But there is a little thing called karma. And that we know because by 2030, the 2030 census will be giving House seats to states that are more Republican. You're looking at one in Idaho, one in Utah, one in Arizona, 4 in Texas, 4 in Florida. The states that are losing them, 3 in California, 1 in Oregon, 1 in Illinois. A lot of these are going to be blue districts too, because they really can't draw out any Republicans without severe dummy manders there. Minnesota, that one probably ends up being a blue district. Wisconsin, that one might be a red one. Pennsylvania, that can go either way. Rhode Island loses a blue seat. New York loses 2 of them. And Republicans are going to be gaining like a net 10 or 11 House seats on top of what they're already doing. So not only does the Texas map make it virtually impossible for there to be this blue wave, and it makes it much more likely for Republicans to go out there and hold the House, but it also just kind of allows them to be in a position where if they do hold the House, they might hold the House until like 2040. I know wave years can happen. They may not hold the House in 2026, but still the possibility of that happening is not just, non-zero. It's significant. We're talking about a good 35% chance, which would be huge because you could have a trifecta for a lot of that, which means you get a lot done. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like the video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. You can follow me on social media. The links are all in the description below. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/twledger, or just scan the QR code you see on the screen. As always, thanks so much for watching and listening. We'll see you in the next one.